Ryan, I don't mean to boast. Okay. That's not a virtuous thing to do here, but I'm a little bit of a celebrity. Okay. It's growing. We had that little incident at the dining hall
Hmm.
um that one time. And now we've expanded the scope here to, dare I say, a national or even international level.
Is
Okay.
that right?
That's correct. That's correct. I've recently made an appearance in the Catholic News Agency articles. Check it out, catholicnewsagency.com. And yeah,
They're
got,
pretty big.
yes, they're pretty big. They are pretty big. They are one of the bigger ones out there in terms of Catholic news agencies,
Hmm.
given the name. But yeah, got interviewed. This article's about the Catholicism 101 class that I've been attending. And I was interviewed one fateful day after that class. Didn't know it was going to be, such a big thing, such a kind of
Hmm.
explosive story, as it
Yeah,
were. But
global.
yeah, but what can I say? They picked the right guy, particularly when I'm spreading such knowledge in the quotes that they've dropped in here. Okay, I'm just gonna say it's pretty impressive.
Okay,
Let me just like give
let's
you
hear them.
a little taste of what we have here. So I think the first one that they really start off with, first quote of the article. There's so much I've learned that I don't know, said Nathan Gentry. All right. Yeah, good, 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 good,
That
good.
you don't know?
That I don't know. I learned it and I still don't know it.
You still don't
So
know it. Yeah.
yeah, that I feel like that's a pretty shining example of the class.
It's kind of
It, it gives a
it,
greater appreciation for the
it
faith.
does. I think it really kind of reflects actually well on you that you
Yeah,
can always learn more.
yeah,
Even though you've learned it, there's still more to learn. There's always more that can come back and inform a better understanding.
exactly,
If you want to
exactly.
put a positive spin on that.
I would love to, and I would love to because initially it's not looking great. It's not looking great for me.
Sure.
Um, the other thing that I think was really kind of poignant and added a lot is where I said this class was about learning more about what I believe and the beliefs of the church, which really I feel like is just the whole point of the class, really.
Hmm.
And so I'm really glad that
Nice
they
little
brought in,
tagline.
yeah, these sorts of really impactful statements,
Yes.
really to just kind of show kind of the prestige of this sort of institution.
Hmm.
I think they've really drawn on a lot here. So, needless to say, just I'm just like everyone else. Okay, so no need to.
Stop sending the fan mail.
Yeah, yeah,
Stop.
I get it. I
But
appreciate it, but
please leave reviews instead.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It wasn't great. I got notified from a friend of mine. Took a picture of it in the paper. I think it originally was published in kind of a local Nebraska paper, and then it quickly found its way to the top with the kind of value that it was providing.
Yes.
Uh, but yeah, I mean,
If
it's
you attend Catholicism 101, you could also be like this guy,
you could also
Nathan.
be as eloquent
Yes.
as as this guy. Yeah, I mean, it's just always tough. I frankly, at first I was like, am I misquoted here? And I'm like, no,
Probably
that
not.
probably is just
I
how I'm
probably
speaking.
actually said that.
Yeah, it just isn't a great sight for me. I feel like, my first reaction was like, oh no way, what is this about? And then I go and read it and I'm like, okay, that's not a great reflection of me. I feel like, especially, I mean, I to be fair, I'm in good company because I feel like the other students had similar levels of quotes. But then like when they're interviewing the instructors and stuff, it's like they're actually spouting some good stuff. And it's like, wow,
Well, they probably knew about the interview.
right. Well, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, this girl came up to me and she's like, hey, can I interview you about this class? I'm like, sure, sure. Just figure it's
Sure.
local
This is
thing.
off the record, right?
Right. Yeah, 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 yeah. So really kind of got surprised there. Um and I feel like it really
That's a valid strategy out of the instructors. Don't tell
Yeah.
the students they're going to be interviewed, so then you look a lot better on your end.
I think it was probably a deliberate plot for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It definitely took me down a peg though. And humility, that's one of the things that I've been learning in that class.
Sure. The whole ordeal was actually just a lesson in
Right.
humility.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
there's one person that needs to be humiliated more, it's you.
It's me. It's me. I've always been told that. But anyway, welcome back. Thanks for joining us on our 31st episode, 31. That's the number in my email address. So I'll let you figure out the rest of it. But Ryan, how have things been? We're actually, hold on, we're in a new year. I feel like we can't let that go
No,
unaddressed
I
here.
haven't seen you since last year.
I know it's been a while. It's been a minute. It's been a year.
2023
Exactly.
is the year for change. The year to make resolutions and to ultimately follow through with them.
Unlike other years. So, that's what this year's all about. Do you have any resolutions this year, Ryan?
No, I typically don't make resolutions.
Not a big resolution guy.
No, I've resolved to never make another resolution again.
Well, okay. So, that's a little contradictory. But yeah. I've heard people say, I don't believe in resolutions. And I don't really understand that.
Not sure how you can't believe in them. They obviously exist.
I just wanted to see if maybe you could shed some light on that perspective or not. But
I don't believe
on the same page there.
I don't believe that resolutions work. How about we add
That's
a
an interesting
onto the end
idea there. I don't know if I agree with you on that personally. I mean, I feel like I guess it depends on what you mean by work. We don't really have to get into it that much, but I feel like, and now I'm going to get into it.
Sure.
I don't know. I feel like they work in the sense that they're going to exact some amount of change. Right. If it's by work, it's like, yeah, you're going to follow through with it for the whole year and whatever. Yeah, maybe not. But I feel like the only way to like have some amount of change in your life is to resolve to do so.
Sure. I think in terms of getting people to do things that they don't want to do, a self-imposed resolution it just isn't great. I mean, I guess that would fall under intrinsic motivation, but intrinsically they don't want to do that thing. So they're not really motivated to do it.
Yeah, I do feel
like maybe if we attach some extrinsic motivators to the resolution, which some people do,
okay,
which I think those actually do work better, then you'll see a bit more follow through.
Yeah,
well, and don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I'm not knocking people for making resolutions.
Okay, that's good.
I'm knocking them for not following through with them.
Okay,
to the end of the year. I think it's admirable actually that people want to do all these things, or that they desire to make some sort of change happen by the end of the year. But I just don't think for most people it doesn't end up working out. So.
Yeah, I do agree with that, but I'll stand with the people even if they don't make it to the end of the year, even if they don't make it to the end of the day. I feel like that's still better than not having anything that you
I would agree with that too.
Want to be. So I do agree though, like you're gonna have to want to do it too in order to be able to do it, I feel like. But
I typically don't make resolutions. I do make themes. Have you heard of this?
No,
yearly themes.
I like this though.
So this
this
is a concept popularized by another podcast called Hello Internet, which I told you about before.
Yeah, I've listened to a few episodes.
One of the hosts, he doesn't make resolutions either, but he does make a yearly theme, and it's not really any sort of set goal or objective or like kind of quantitative measure in any way, but it's just sort of an idea that you base your year around.
Okay.
So
for example,
one of my friends, his theme a few years ago, or maybe last year actually, was just less. He wanted to do less, or he wanted to just, in general, less things.
Less. less
Um,
success, less
less success,
happiness,
less happiness,
right?
less
These sorts of
money.
things.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, and I think uh, a popular one is like health. That was
Okay.
mine last year.
Okay.
So you just sort of
Sure.
base
I
your year
mean,
around health.
you can see that manifesting in the no meat Mondays
Sure. Which
and then
I
the lack
did follow
thereof.
through with because I was very resolved to follow through. And maybe
Right.
that's why I don't like resolutions. Because I don't, because I'm bad at them. But
You don't
maybe it's
like them
just sort of,
because you're bad at
I
them.
don't like them. And I'm trying to say all these reasons why I don't like them, but it's actually just because I'm very bad at them.
Mm, that's deep. That's deep. I
But
appreciate that
yeah,
self-awareness there. So what theme are you going with this year? Health
I
was
think we're going to
last
run it
year.
back. I
Okay.
think we're going to run it back because we didn't do a great job last year. So we're going for round 2, and we're going to see if we can get the W this year.
Yeah, you have
The
a better
win, if you will.
understanding of the
I did. I
opponent.
know my limitations. I know
Right.
I know what I can do. I know what I can't do.
Yeah,
So we are gonna try, and if at first you don't succeed, try again.
try
So
again and
we're
redo the
going
theme.
for health again.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I
If
guess
you had to pick a theme, what
okay.
would you pick?
I would
Just not to
pick.
put you on the spot, but
I would pick more.
more.
Is what I would say.
I want more. I want more success. I want more happiness. I want more things. I'm a very materialistic person.
I am. I am. Get me on that. Get me on that.
Great.
No, I think I would I haven't really put much thought into it. I also
I
have
would
not made any
imagine.
resolutions, I would say.
Okay.
So, I'll defend the resolvers, but I am not necessarily myself one of them yet. There's still time. We still got over 300 days to make
I guess
a
typically people do make
resolution.
them at the start of the year, but
Yeah, usually, or even a little bit before,
yeah.
maybe. But uh,
If you can't
I
think of anything, I'll give
yeah,
you some time, and maybe
okay, thank
we'll
you.
revisit it next episode since you don't have to apparently make them at the beginning of the year
Yeah, no, I'm
now.
pretty
So
loosey goosey with that, so
yeah,
I appreciate your leniency on that.
maybe that's
Um,
a theme for you. Flexible with the rules.
yeah, yeah. I just really want to kind of put things to the limit, take it to the
Hmm.
limit, see how far we can get.
Yeah.
Big
What
kind
can
of
I get away with? What can't
yeah,
I?
ask forgiveness, not permission, that sort of thing.
Yes.
That's what I'm all about, frankly, and that's how I like to live. But anyway, yeah, I will say I've finished probably the same number of books this year as last year already. So
That's incredible.
yeah, I know. I'm kind of a scholar,
You
and
must be a really fast reader since you read so many books last year.
yes, I did read a grand total of 1, I believe, last
Wow.
year, and we've already hit that mark. Now, I will say most of the book was read in 2022,
Sure.
but I feel like that's a footnote.
Yeah.
And
It wasn't when you started the book.
yeah,
It was
it's
when you
all about
finished.
when you finish. It is
Yeah.
absolutely when you finish. I'm also almost done with another book, so we're about to double.
Great. That's a 100% increase.
I know, exactly. My goal is to get 100% better every year, and
Sure, that's very admirable, very ambitious, even.
yes, well, thank you. A lot of people go with the 1% each day, 1% better every day. I just say no. That's more ambitious. I actually don't know how much is 1% a day. I haven't looked into it on the scope of the year.
1% of what? Oh, just days.
1% better.
1%
It's actually
better.
way better. It's way more than 100% a year now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
so I actually go for a lower bar than 1% every day is
Sure.
what I'm trying to say. But in the book category, we're about to mark that off real quick. And so we'll just kind of tackle after
That's
that
a good
book.
idea for resolutions. Instead of making it sort of a year-long thing, make it something you can get done as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the year.
Here's a lot of
People ask you how your resolutions are going. Oh, I finished those 2 months ago.
They're done.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You're
Oh, you
still
gave them up?
working on yours?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, you gave them up. Oh.
Yeah. No. I finished them. I actually completed them. Yeah. I think that's really maybe a different approach, and one thing that people haven't really thought about yet. But Yeah, I think it's going to be good. I feel like I guess I'm also um, trying to maybe get a better sleep cycle myself, which is there to an extent. I would say we've not necessarily gotten to bed at a better time, but we've gotten better habits in place. So
Better habits.
don't necessarily
Well,
ask
that's
me
a
what
good
that
foundation.
means, but I have been like getting ready for bed sooner. So
Okay.
that lends itself to the ability to go
Sure,
to bed
it definitely enables
earlier.
falling asleep earlier, but it doesn't. It's sort of it's not like a
Yeah.
if then.
It also eliminates something that I've struggled with some in the past, which is going to sleep before I've gotten ready for bed.
Yeah,
And
that's a huge problem.
it's never a great look, really, when you're waking up, the lights are on, you're
Fully
wearing
clothed.
jeans. Yeah, exactly. And then you get up and go brush your teeth and stuff.
Mhm.
And so, I feel like this is gonna be a good help for me. But yeah. So hopefully I'll be making some improvements in that area in
Sure.
life.
I would say that I'm also looking, seeking improvement in the same area.
Yeah.
If I had to make a resolution, it would be to improve my sleep cycle, but we're
Okay.
not going to do that. So we're just going to sort of wing it.
Yeah. And how's that been going? How's the winging it been going?
Winging it, I will say that I can see why people formulate actual plans
Okay.
now.
Sure.
When you kind of just rely on something to resolve itself,
Mm.
it doesn't really work out.
Yeah.
Again, maybe that's why people make resolutions to do it.
Perhaps. Yeah.
So this all started probably 2 weeks ago.
Okay. That's when the bad sleep schedule started. Or?
Yes, when I fell ill.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was prescribed some Sudafed,
Right.
which keeps you awake.
Mhm.
And it was actually pretty fortunate because I was also working on a paper at that time.
Yeah.
So I was working on it through the night.
Right.
And I couldn't really fall asleep either. And what do you know? It's 8 in the morning.
Mhm.
So we've worked through the night. We're a busy worker. We get things done.
Right.
What I
Busy
always say
bee.
about myself.
That's right.
And then it's like, hey, I guess I'm pretty tired now. So then I slept, from 12 noon to kind of 6 p.m.
Right.
or maybe
That
7
kind
p.m.
of time range.
to get some good sleep in there. Well, then it sort of just compounds upon itself. And the next day, same deal. Bring us to today.
Mhm.
The same sort of awful sleep schedule has been going. Well, actually, why don't we back up
Okay. Oh,
to
yeah. Hey,
to New Year's?
put it in reverse.
I haven't really talked about what happened on New Year's, but I will tell you
Okay.
that nothing changed in regard to the sleep schedule.
Okay.
So I woke up at about 5 p.m. and stayed awake until about 9 a.m.
Okay. Good. Just
And
covering, you
today,
just wanted to make sure that you were up for all the end of the New Year's, right? Not
exactly.
only your time zone, but going out to
Yes.
Hawaii and whatnot. So
The
that's
past 2
respectable.
days, I've tried to pull an all-nighter to reset my circadian rhythms,
Yeah.
which has worked really well, let me tell you.
Okay. That's good.
2 days ago, went to sleep, or no, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, sorry. 4 days ago, maybe. The day before
When you're not sleeping,
New
the days kind
Year's
of
Day.
blend together. Yeah.
Yeah. The day before New Year's Day, we went to bed at, I want to say, well, first off, we didn't go to bed.
Okay.
We woke up at probably 4 p.m.,
Sure.
5 p.m.,
Mhm.
and we're saying, okay, we're staying up the whole night.
Yeah.
So I'm working through the night. I actually did some actual work for the university
Okay.
because I was like, hey, this will keep me awake. And it
Sure.
did.
Riveting
And
stuff.
worked on that between the hours of 4 a.m. and 8 a.m. We made it to about 10 a.m. I said, hey, I'll just take a little nap. What's the problem with that? We'll wake up again at 1 p.m. and we'll be golden.
Uh,
And I think you can see where this is going. And woke up at around 7 p.m.
okay, sure,
So
sure. Yeah, not quite. That's a little bit off the mark. A little bit off the mark.
yeah, today you texted me probably around like noon or so,
I did.
and I
I
didn't
did.
respond until probably 5 p.m.
I'm starting to put together
I
what
think you
might have
can.
happened.
Yeah, I think you know what might have gone on there.
Yeah, yeah. If anything, I feel like you're ready to pick up graveyard shift or something like that.
That is, people. I've been telling this to some people. They've been criticizing me, and
Mhm.
all I can say to them is, people on the night shift do this every day.
Yeah,
So I don't
this is
know.
normal.
I don't know who you're judging
This
right
is
now.
normal. Okay,
People that are upholding our economy during the wee hours of the night.
that's right. That's right.
But
And the morning.
I definitely think I could do it. I don't want to do it. It is kind of difficult when you wake up at 8 p.m. and you're thinking, hey, I'm kind of hungry. I want to go get some food. But lunchtime is at midnight.
Right.
So everything's closed.
You can't really go
Or,
out.
yeah.
You do kind of
Or
build up
like,
a
hey, I
self-dependence.
really need to buy some groceries, but it's 3 a.m.
Yeah.
and I don't really want to go to a grocery store at 3 a.m.
Fair
if
enough.
one
But
would even be open.
they are super saver.
Super
24
saver.
hours. 24 hours.
Incredible.
Although I don't know. I feel like I think they're open 24 hours, but the doors aren't. The doors are locked for some amount of time.
They're open.
I
So
don't
if you're
really
in
know.
there, before
Yeah.
they lock the doors, I
Then
think
you're good.
I think that's how most stores work, actually.
Now, I don't know. I've been told 24 hours. I think that's true, but then I also thought I saw something like on the doors that it's like these lock.
Well,
I
that's
don't know.
great.
So it's like I'm a little confused. I haven't tried it out myself, but maybe if you could try it and let us know, that'd be great.
So I mean, I might, but we are going to try again to reset
Wow.
tonight.
I applaud that.
We're going to go with the opposite technique, though. We're going to try to get more sleep. So probably in about we're recording this about 9 p.m.
Oh, okay.
I think in about 3 hours I'm going to try to go to sleep again.
I like that. I like that from you.
So we're going to see how well that works out.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
I think
if anything,
that might work better than just trying to stay up the entire time.
Yeah, if history tells us anything,
If there's anything I know, is that my body prefers more sleep over less.
right? And I think I think you'll be relieved to find out that most bodies are like that. It's not just you.
Great, I am normal.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I know that's what you've always wanted to be, and so I just thought I'd help you out there. But best of luck. Best of luck to you.
I appreciate that.
And
what I said before, if at first you don't succeed, try again. We're gonna keep pulling all-nighters and going to sleep early and whatnot, whatever it takes.
Really
to
just
get back on
wreaking as
track.
much havoc as we can to get back.
Yes.
Excuse me. Well, fun times. I guess, was there anything else from your New Year's Eve celebrations?
Sure.
What does that look like for yourself?
The Ruby New Year's Eve celebration consisted. I don't know why I said the Ruby celebration, because it was just me and
Well,
my family.
mean, you didn't pluralize it, so yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it started around. Well, yeah, I woke up around 5 p.m. and I was headed to Omaha to the Big O to hang out with some buddies in the city.
Sure. Well, at the very least, you're rested up, so you don't have to worry about.
I'm ready for a big night. I'm ready for the new year.
Exactly.
I'm resolved to stay awake for the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
So
right.
Get there. We are trying to remember what happened first, because it all started blending together. Maybe that was the lack of sleep in the later hours, but we did some karaoke.
Wow,
which was great.
Fun.
I have a
Singing
beautiful
in the new year.
voice.
Absolutely. What was your go-to there? Have we discussed this already?
My go-to karaoke? I don't think so.
Okay.
Maybe I think we've discussed yours.
Sure. I think we've demonstrated that a little bit.
I mean, we played a lot of songs.
Okay.
If I'm being honest,
So it was a whole concert.
We did not discriminate based on genre.
Sure.
We had all sorts. We had rock songs, country songs, rap songs, all sorts of songs, all sorts of artists. Got some Lady Gaga in there, I think.
Nice. I could see you doing that quite well.
And then we also had some John Legend, I think. So
Nice.
we have a great vocal range.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, you do.
Anyway, yeah, did some karaoke. Then we headed to the Beercade, which I've mentioned before,
right?
And played some games there. Somebody beat my high score from the last time we were there, which was very disheartening by quite a large margin.
Oh no,
like over 100,000 points.
That feels like a lot. I don't know what kind of scale we're talking that year, but if we're talking like football scores, that's quite a bit.
It is quite a bit. I'll tell you that I tried to regain my first place position and failed miserably.
Oh, okay. So, ooh.
That was not great. What was great is that they did provide free champagne.
Wow.
For the midnight of 2022. And
absolutely, yeah.
Stayed there.
Really kind of a deceptive kind of name there.
Yes, it was. I was like, so is this beer in here?
Yeah.
No, that's actually champagne.
I don't understand. I'm confused, but we'll go with it.
Yeah, stayed there until the dawn of 2023.
Until the dawn.
Just the figurative dawn, not the literal dawn.
Okay. I was gonna say, wow. That I guess that's why you needed to be rested up. But
I stayed awake until the dawn of 2023.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. Made it back to my friend's house. And then we kind of just, I don't remember what we did after that, but at some point some other people started falling asleep. My friend and I couldn't fall asleep, so he's like, "Hey, you want to just play video games?" And so we did that.
Sounds like a great time.
7 a.m.
Yeah.
Finally, around 7 a.m, he said, "I'm gonna go to sleep," and then I said, "I'm just gonna go home.
Just gonna go to work." Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gonna...
So then I just went home, and when I say home, I went to my parents' house and.
Okay, sure. I was curious.
Woke them up, I think.
Okay.
At around 7 a.m.
Or that might just be when they wake up. You have to consider that.
That's what I thought too, but it seemed like they were not
angry
awake yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Fair enough. Hey, fair enough.
That was kind of the capsule of my New Year's Eve.
The capsule. Nice.
Yes, the time capsule that I just opened for you. Take
with food.
Yep.
I like it. I can't say I had quite as eventful of a New Year's Eve. Did get to bed earlier, that's for sure. But yeah, I was at a beercade of sorts, as long as you drop the beer and drop the cade and add just my parents' house.
Your parents' house.
Cool. Yeah, that's where I was at. We kind of have a tradition where we are watching college football. Got the bowl games going on that night.
Of course.
Then we watch the ball drop in Times Square. And then my parents go to bed. And then I party it up.
Sure.
And just had a great time. Kicked off 2023 really in one of the best ways you can with a bowl of frosted bunny wheats.
Okay.
Be real salt first,
I did see that.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, and then that's just how we have a good time. That is how to have a good time by Nathan Gentry.
I haven't had frosted bunny wheats in a hot minute, but they are one of the better cereals.
There we go. I wasn't sure how popular of a choice they were, but I think they're really catching up. They're in the ranks.
Sure.
If they were ever behind, I don't know.
But, what is weird? Yeah. Going down the cereal aisle at the grocery store and just seeing how many new cereals there are compared to when you were a child.
Well, when I was a child, they were all new to me.
Well, that is a very good point.
But
But now, and hear me out on this, there's even more
okay.
that you've probably never had.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not even getting cereal. I'm trying to get something on the other side of the aisle. I don't even know.
Right.
Probably like pistachios or something. I'm just
Sure.
throwing that out there.
I do think those are on the same aisle. Yeah.
And I'm looking over at the cereals and I'm seeing tons of different things. Can't name any of them for you off the
For
top of my
sponsor
head.
reasons. Yeah.
But
Exactly. They're gonna have to
um,
pay before they can get that.
yeah, I just think it's weird.
Yeah. I mean, it might. It might. And I don't know cereal history as much as I should. I'll say that.
Okay.
I can't really call myself a cereal enthusiast until I know that kind of stuff. I feel like. Um, I do. I
Great.
did
And
study a law case around shredded wheat.
really?
Back in the 70s, maybe. I don't know. That was in my business law class. Fun
Okay.
times. Don't know if you studied that or not, but
I did not.
fun fact from that, I guess, is that Nabisco stands for National Biscuit Company. So that's a little tidbit
Awesome.
for you. That's a little fun fact of the week. Uh,
A similar fun fact, did you know that Triscuit stands for electricity biscuit?
I do not believe.
It did. Seriously.
I don't. What?
You don't believe me?
How? How would
Yeah.
that? How would that work?
Because
Tris is not in electricity. Doesn't have. Oh, but biscuit does. Okay, carry on.
It's a portmanteau of electricity and biscuit. So the tris part of electricity.
Not the
And
tris part, just the tri part.
yeah,
But
well, Triscuit.
why
Called a
is
Triscuit.
electricity in there? It's not
Because
electric.
well, have you ever had one? Because it lights up your taste buds.
Okay. There you go.
But the real
You get
reason
a little
is that
rosemary olive
I
oil.
believe it used like one of those hydroelectric power stations to power like the first factory to make them.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, hey, you probably don't believe me,
I don't.
and
I don't.
I'm
I mean,
now
I
second guessing
do.
myself.
I do, but I feel like
But
that's just how wheat it was milled back in the day. Was through
what do you mean by back in the day?
like
When do you think Triscuits were invented?
the 1900s.
Yeah, but electricity. Oh my gosh. Gosh, it feels like I just gotta fact check you on everything these
Like,
days.
okay, I don't think it's. I don't know. No, I don't buy it. Like, were there gas powered biscuits or like
Well,
what's the alternative here?
first off, water wheels are
That's
what
what I'm
used to be
thinking of.
used,
Yes.
but that's not electricity. That's just a
Okay.
water wheel turning to turn another machine or like a grinder that will then
Okay.
grind wheat or whatever flour. I don't know. I don't know
Well,
the specifics of agriculture.
right. Right. Look, we've gone on record on this, okay? You can't expect Ryan to know these things.
Okay, so Triscuit, invented in 1900,
That was before electricity.
began production the next year in Niagara Falls, New York.
Okay.
Niagara Falls, because that's where they had the hydroelectric power station.
Okay. Well, okay. Regardless of if it's true or not, which it's not, but regardless of whether or not it is, that's a terrible branding choice from them. Because
Why?
I don't care. I don't care how
But
my
you didn't even
biscuits are
know
made.
until I just told you.
Yeah. So why are you naming it that? You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
how many people knew that Nabisco was National Biscuit? Nobody knows. Nobody knows any of this branding. It's just a name that some guy came up with, and then marketing gave him a huge raise, probably.
Right, probably. He got checks out the wazoo. But I feel like National Biscuit Company, that makes sense. Why you would want your company to be named that. Electric biscuits. I don't want electric biscuits. I want whole grain biscuits or something like that.
You got to think about the time that these were being made, when electricity was cool and new.
Yeah.
So when someone hears electricity biscuit, then and know that it's being made at a hydroelectric power station, then they think, oh, it's this cool new thing from the future. So it actually is a good. Trust me, I'm taking marketing next semester, so I think I know what I'm talking about.
Trust me,
Haven't
I
taken
think
it yet.
yeah. Well,
But
I've already taken marketing, and
oh,
so
okay.
I'm going to
You
use that
obviously
knowledge
know
over you.
what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
I don't know.
All right. At the
Let
end
me
of the day,
know.
I was just trying to tell you a fun fact
No, I appreciate that.
about Triscuits, which somehow devolved into you once again not believing an actual fact that I've told you. So, anyway,
anyway. Let
you
us
were
know if you would eat electric biscuits, okay?
that.
And
I think that is that's question bias right there.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
If you ask someone would they eat an electric biscuit,
Yeah,
it sounds like someone is about to be electrocuted.
that's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's not something that
But
you would
and you
want to
ask
make
somebody, would you eat a Triscuit?
and they're like, no.
I wouldn't because I don't actually like them that much. I think they're pretty bad, but
Yeah, I
they
don't mind
must
them.
be somewhat popular if they managed to survive for 123 years.
Well, that's fair. I think they're okay. I don't think they're the best thing to happen to biscuits, but I think they're okay.
Probably
But
the best thing to happen to electricity.
this is yes. This is all I'm saying. I would rather have a national biscuit than an electric biscuit. Can you
Okay.
agree with me there?
I feel like I do like Nabisco products more.
That's not what I'm asking.
That's not what you're asking. All right.
I'm just saying, I'm giving you a product. It's called a national biscuit. The other one's called an electric biscuit.
Look, I'm a patriotic person. I'll take the national biscuit.
That's what I'm
but
saying.
I also love electricity. so
it's tempting. It's tempting.
It is very tempting.
All right. Well,
it's
enough.
A toss up for me. I think it depends on the day.
Am I more loyal to electricity or my country?
Yeah.
That's what I have to ask myself. I debate about this every day.
Look, electricity spans borders is all I'm saying.
International. What about international biscuits? Yeah. I'm gonna start up Interbisco. And I mean, tell me that doesn't sound good.
It does kind of sound good.
There you go. Watch out, Nabisco. We're coming for the global markets. But anyway, I don't even know where I was at.
We're talking about cereal. We were talking about new cereals in the cereal aisle.
I don't know the history, but I feel like a trap that I fall into a lot, and I feel like a lot of young whippersnappers and old whippersnappers fall into, which is that you're kind of like born into the world and you just kind of assume this is how it's always been. And then things change and you're like, oh, there's all this new stuff.
To cereal?
Because you're like, oh, there's so many new cereals. And it's like,
sure, I guess.
I feel like there's always been like so many new cereals, but I might be off on that. Sure. So that's where I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I'm saying new cereals that you've never had before.
That's true.
So like I get that there's always going to be new cereals and people are always going to be making new cereals. There's always, it's capitalism. You're always trying to beat out the market, trying to corner the cereal market, if you will. I feel like back in the day, I had all manner of cereals. There are probably some that I'd never had. But now it's like I go down the cereal aisle. I can't recognize half the names in there. And not that I particularly want to either. They're probably very bad for you, full of sugar and whatnot.
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd 100% of the cereal aisle.
Guess the world's changing and it's leaving me behind. In 2022.
I can't keep up. Keep up. Well, that's fair. But anyway, point is I had a big party New Year's Eve. And I also had a big party or participated in a big party the week before because I went up to Minnesota for my friend Bryce's wedding, as we established last week.
And you're not in a full body cast or anything like that.
I'm not.
So I'm assuming it went well.
It went really well. Really well. Now I will say, drive up, pretty stressful. I will say that because
you've got the recent incident on your mind.
Yes, we got that. The proximity to that event is hard to pass up. Hard to not think about.
It's hard to pass up.
Especially when we got snow blowing over the roads. Especially when we've got ice on the roads. Especially when we have little fishtail incidents.
Sure.
But we, maintain control.
All the factors are there.
And I feel like that just shows how I've grown as a driver. And I'm gonna knock on wood there because that is very well less a comment on my abilities and more so just a coincidental event. But regardless, we did make it up. Takes about 6.5 hours or so. One thing I wasn't ready for was the last hour to be on country roads. And so it was because it was in what on the map kind of looks like a suburb of Minneapolis, but really it's a small town about half an hour outside Minneapolis.
Okay.
That there's not a direct interstate to. So, also, you kind of surrender your navigation abilities to Google Maps. So it's like, look, I really don't think this is the best way to get there, but I guess if you say so, then that's what we'll do. So maybe not the best there, but we did, like I said, like I've asserted, we've made it to the beautiful Cannon Falls, to the beautiful Grand Stay Hotel and Suites. Not sure if we were in the
Did
hotel or the
Stay?
suites. I had a grand stay. Absolutely. Can't speak enough or hardly at all about the grand stay. That's a little contradictory. Don't think about it too much, but I mean, it did the trick, and that's really what you're looking for.
It had a bed. It had a bathroom. It had the essentials.
Exactly. Basically. It had a bed. It had a bathroom. It had breakfast. That's more than a bed and breakfast can say. I'll say that.
Yep.
So it was a good time. Kind of continuing on the country roads theme of it, I suppose, is the venue. The venue was also even more outside of the city.
Were you driving there as well?
Yeah. Okay. We did make it out there. That was not a big deal, but it was definitely raised some doubts of like, do I have the right address? Am I going to the right place? I haven't seen anyone or anything.
There's been
for
no
quite
man-made
a while.
Structures for at least 30 minutes.
Right. But we did make it out, and it was a lovely time. Great ceremony. They got married, and that's really the main part of it, I would say.
Hope so.
Yeah, exactly.
You drove all that way.
Yeah. And just a great time. Glad I could be there to support, be around some friends, and really just tear up the dance floor. Frankly,
Sure.
I feel like there's not enough opportunities for dancing. I'm gonna say that. Do I stand by that? I don't know, but
I'll say right off the bat I disagree, but please go ahead.
You disagree? How so?
Sure. I had an opportunity to dance. I had one more opportunity to dance this semester than I wanted.
Okay.
I had to dance on stage.
Sure.
So
the formals?
Feels
is that
like
what you're referring to?
Well, I wasn't even thinking about those. I was thinking about when I had to dance on stage. I also the formals as well. I had far more opportunities to dance than I typically do.
Than you wanted, frankly.
That I typically do or want to have. So
well, that's too bad. I would say, are you talking about the Jester competition?
No, I'm talking about the homecoming dance competition.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
You were there.
Okay,
just to remind you.
I was there, and I will say after that, you said it was quite fun. So
yeah, I think
something along
it
those
was kind
lines.
of I don't think I was in my right mind.
I don't know.
I think I also told you that I blacked out on stage and didn't remember the actual dance.
Yeah, you did say that. So you just got to black out more, I think, is what I'm taking away from that.
You just don't remember it. Got to clear your mind before you start, and then when it's over, you don't even remember that it happened. Anyway,
yeah.
Please continue.
But I don't know. I just I think that the kicker is, I guess the other thing that you could raise is, Nathan, didn't you go to the Ballroom Dance Company to watch? You could join them, but
you could.
Here's my thing. I'm much more of a free spirit when it comes to the dance floor. I don't like being pinned down into choreography.
You're
as
not
much
a
as
rules
people
and regulations guy,
right? As much as people might want me to do that, as much as people might want me to stop doing, whatever comes to mind. I'm doing it, and I
Yes.
find that much more enjoyable. So, um, yeah. Point is, had a good time. Apparently, they had the person who does the pregame DJing for the Vikings games. So
Wow.
felt like I was in the presence of greatness there to an
Yeah.
extent, and I just tried to reciprocate that back to him. I don't know if he got that
That was
feeling or
pretty
not.
kind of you. I'm sure he really appreciated that.
Yeah, yeah. So I had a good time there. Uh, on the dinner aspect, which this is, I guess, going a little bit back chronologically, in between the ceremony and the dinner, no, and dancing. Uh, they had pizza as the entree,
There you
which
go.
I'm gonna have to commend them on. You know, I appreciate a good down to earth meal. You know, it's like something that almost everyone's gonna enjoy. And then they did have some gluten free, etc. options, but
I like that.
yeah, I like the pizza route there. Little salad, little breadsticks. Hard to go wrong, frankly. And then they had a cheesecake, which hard to go right for me personally, but you know,
You're not a
that's
fan.
okay. That's okay. I'm not a huge cheesecake guy. I am definitely turning that corner in my life. I was on the menu. They had chocolate, strawberry, and caramel options. When I went up, chocolate and caramel was gone. So I was like, well, I don't
We
know.
started with strawberry.
Yeah, and I was like,
That's
I'm not
pretty
sure how I feel
unfortunate.
about
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
I agree with you there.
I'm sure it was great. I'm sure it was great for the general populace, but I'm like, look, I'm just starting to get back into cheesecake, so maybe this isn't the right time. I don't want to go farther, recede back, you know.
Hmm.
Uh, but anyway, so there was that. The other thing, which I wasn't super used to, but I'm taking that this is a pretty common tradition, and honestly, this might have happened at the other weddings I've been to, but not to this level. Is you know you're at the reception and people start clinking their glasses. Are you familiar with this?
Sure. Yeah.
Not in a speech sense, but basically they start clinking their glasses, and apparently this is a sign that, or a command of sorts, for the newlyweds to kiss.
No, I've never heard of that.
I've also never I've never heard of it. I've never experienced it. It quickly became apparent to me that it was a thing because this happened probably about a dozen times.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I was look, and I'm not.
Like, hey, I
I'm
get
not.
it. You're recently married, but
Yeah, no. I and
do
well,
we need to watch
I'm
them?
not right. I'm not anti. You know, I'm not anti a kiss or two. I know some people are pretty staunchly anti PDA. I feel like this is an appropriate setting, but
If
once
there's
we get
any
up
setting,
there,
yeah,
right,
it would be a
right.
wedding.
Yes, exactly. And so I feel like once you get up there, though, into the high single digits or low
Sure.
double digits, I think it's probably a good time. Like, I think we've got a good amount of that. And it was this one guy in particular. He was also kind of throwing out some ad libs during the ceremony, which I was I was a little confused about. But you know, however he enjoys
Mhm.
celebrating, I suppose that's good on him. Uh, but it was to the point where I'm like, look, are we going to be running into some scheduling issues here because we're having to pause, you know,
Yeah.
continuously. Uh, but anyway, that you know, understandable, but maybe let's tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
My guy. I will say that you know, if I'm okay with some amount of PDA at a wedding, I'm not as okay with PDA at a state capitol building. And that is something that I experienced this week.
Sure.
So on my way back from Minneapolis, I spent a night in Des Moines just to see what it's all about, see what Iowa has to offer here.
Hmm.
Um, and boy, do they have something to offer. I will say that. So
It seems like it.
yeah,
Yeah. I'm
right.
not.
Yeah. So I Des Moines, capital of Iowa, is like I got to see the Capitol building. I have been asked, do you have something with Capitol buildings? And I guess my answer is yes. I don't know. I feel like they're just a fun place to visit.
I'll say that number one thing that I'm going to in Des Moines, Iowa, is probably not the Capitol building.
What's the number
I
one thing you're going
I
to?
don't have another thing,
Well,
but
there you
it
go.
wouldn't be the Capitol building.
Really?
Just right off the bat.
You don't
Uh,
like Capitol buildings?
no, I think they're fine. I don't hate them,
Okay.
but I don't particularly like visiting them
You don't
or
think they're fun?
enjoy. I think they're okay. I don't know what you mean by fun. I don't think I'm having a good time going to one.
Oh,
I think I'm
okay.
just having
Well,
a. I think it's just all right.
maybe I
Like
do have a thing with Capitol buildings
I think you do.
because
I think I'm in agreement with whoever said that.
I've been to the Nebraska State Capitol multiple
Sure,
times.
I have as well.
Um, but
But I
like
wouldn't
not with
say that
school.
I. Oh, okay. Just to
Yeah,
visit. Yeah, I mean,
just for fun. Yeah,
just for fun. All right.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. I feel like they're structures that symbolize our values. You know, they a
Sure.
lot of people, you know, they put hard work into this,
Yeah, I
and
definitely agree.
I feel like they're a step above in terms of architectural quality, in terms of history. I like that. This
No,
is
I
where.
totally agree with all you're saying.
Thank
I
you.
just don't think it's fun to
That
go
just
to
doesn't.
them.
Well,
That's not all those things that you said. I am in complete agreement with.
okay.
I just don't equate those to fun.
All right.
So
Well,
maybe
I
that's
guess.
more reflective of me than you. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I think it's reflective of both of us in
sure.
our own sense, I guess. Um, here, let me give you another offering because this
All
is
right.
something that I did the night before. So I went out for dinner. Obviously, how was that? Is that more fun to you?
Sure. I
Is
like
that
eating dinner.
sure? And walked. I walked to dinner. Gotta say, quite dead, and
Mm,
um, I feel like that's probably true of many urban areas. Um, maybe not.
maybe.
I don't know. And it probably
I would
depended on
say
where I was
probably
walking in Des
major
Moines.
urban centers are less dead. New York,
Right.
Los Angeles,
Well, I think Los
Chicago.
Angeles is probably actually pretty dead, but because I feel like New York, you have a point. City that never sleeps. I don't know. I think that's New York. I'm not really sure.
That is, yeah.
Los Angeles is always sleeping, from what I understand. No, I don't
Okay.
know. I think Los Angeles has a pretty. I think it comes down to like the division. This is look. I took an urban planning class, okay,
You did.
and I think it comes down to a lot of urban areas are pretty like job heavy, and then like people live elsewhere, and so that creates some deadness of sorts.
Sure.
Uh, regardless, anyway, so walking around, it's pretty dead. I'm like, all right, this is kind of eerie at this point. But I gotta hit up the sculpture park, the Papa John sculpture park,
Of
um,
course.
because again, this is another thing to see. Is that gonna rate highly for you?
The Papa John Sculpture Park.
Yeah.
That rate's higher than the Capitol building.
Okay. There you
I'm
go.
not sure I would go there at night,
Okay. Well.
but I would say that is a semi fun thing to do.
All right. Well, I would say it's even less fun than the Capitol. So
Oh, okay.
that's just where we have differences.
Cool.
That also might be kind of after the fact sort of thing. Having gone at night, having seen these relatively creepy sculptures lit up with some
Yeah, I'm
underlighting.
very terrified right now.
I
This
mean,
isn't fun at all.
it was kind of concerning. I was like, why did you get these
Who designed
sculptures?
these?
Honestly,
And are
it's
they
like
okay?
we got this creepy smiling mask thing.
Sure.
We've got this spider. We've
Okay.
got this what I can only describe, and I have described as a sinuous horse. I I don't even know exactly what that means, but we've got a trench coat without anyone in it. These sorts of things. It's like why are we choosing
Hmm.
this to kind of be the
I don't
bastion
know.
of
I think
our
those comment on our society pretty well.
okay. Comment on Des Moines, maybe. I don't know.
What are the comments exactly? I couldn't tell you, but
Yeah. But it makes a strong it's a strong message. It's
yeah.
a strong message.
The
Uh
message is get out of here as soon as you can.
yeah, and I did. I
Yeah.
went directly back to my hotel from that. And I was like, you know, that tonight's just not my night. But then we head up the Capitol the next day. It was a great time.
Mhm.
Rang the Liberty Bell. So how fun is
Sure.
that? How fun is that?
Is that the actual
And you're
Liberty Bell?
ranking.
I don't actually think it's in Des Moines, Iowa.
Well,
So
I didn't think so either, but surprise, it
yeah.
is actually not.
The
It's a
Iowa Liberty
replica.
Bell.
Apparently they made like either 20 or 50 replicas, one of the two, at the same time of casting. They're like, we've got this mold, let's just make a ton. And so they did. And Iowa has one of them. And look, I don't know, was I supposed to ring it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, you
Things that it has going in its favor. There was a rope attached to it. So it's like it feels like
Seems
it's
like I should ring it.
it feels like it's inviting me in right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Things going against ringing it seems like maybe something that you shouldn't be doing. I don't know.
Sure. Society would suggest probably don't ring the bell at
It's
any
tough.
time.
It's tough. But I tell you what, I did ring it, and it was highly satisfactory.
Sure.
I really
And
enjoyed
nobody
it.
stopped you.
Yeah, and then I did it again, a little
Oh,
bit
you did
harder
it a
this
second
time.
time.
Yeah,
Did it
Eh,
twice.
yeah. It was
Wow.
quite loud. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But it was quite fun. So
I would love to believe that ringing the Liberty Bell is some sort of signal for something to happen that you had no awareness of, and you've set in motion some sequence of events that cannot be stopped now
it'll
that you've
alter
done
the
this.
course of history.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
But
I definitely did
we'll just have to
consider
wait
that
and
it's
see.
like, what if this rope is here for someone else and
Yeah,
not
what
for
if
the general?
there's like a designated person to ring this
Yeah.
bell that isn't me, that probably just isn't here right now.
Yeah. But I'm like,
That's a valid thought, but there's no way to know for sure. So
I'm like, if you're gonna have a rope and you don't want people to ring it, you're gonna have to put up a sign. That's what I came down to.
Mhm.
And but I did quickly scurry away after
Sure.
the second ring.
Although I was fairly confident that what I was doing was entirely allowed, I did run away as soon as I did it.
No. But it was really I loved it, frankly.
Yeah, very satisfying.
It was extremely satisfying. I would highly recommend if they
Well,
if they
it
still have
seems
the
like it seems like it's allowed, so I might have to head on down there and do it myself. I can
Absolutely.
see, I can see now why you liked visiting the Capitol building.
Well, that
I
was
don't know.
I mean,
This
that was just
wasn't
the cherry on top.
okay.
Yeah. And in real sense, it was the ice cream because it was the first thing that I did. So I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know.
Sure.
It was the drop in the bucket. That's what I'll say.
Great.
And anyway, Iowa State Capitol, great building. I'll say that. It's quite ornate. Got a nice golden dome. And that's something that you can't say about Nebraska's. But anyway, going really just taking the arts. They've got a painting of corn, which I really enjoyed. That was probably 20, maybe not 20 feet, but maybe 20 feet. I don't know. It was quite large. I enjoyed it. And really the dome, I can't understate the dome enough.
Yeah, you mentioned
Wait
it
a minute.
once already.
I don't know. But what I didn't appreciate, just circling back, and I really can't, I also can't understate this enough, is my displeasure with turning the corner, floor number 3. It's really ingrained in my mind. You're turning the corner, bam, right there outside the House of Representatives. We got a couple matching flannel just making out, and it wasn't a great sight.
Yeah.
Did an immediate 180, and I was like, I didn't really even want to see the house.
Oh, you
anyway,
didn't walk up to them and say, "Hey,
yeah,
what's going on here?
Yeah,
You guys work here, or
say,
are you guys representatives of Iowa?"
Yeah, you're representing something. I'll say that. But anyway, so that wasn't great. But overall, didn't even put a damper on. Well, it did put a damper, but it didn't
9 out of 10.
snuff out the light of the Capitol. I'd recommend. Look, I don't know. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay. So
hey, so I will. And second, I don't go to Des Moines often. It's not really one of my key travel cities.
Sure.
Not that any city really is, unless you're counting Omaha and Lincoln.
Right.
But if I find myself there within the next however much time it'll take me to not forget this, then I will go and I'll check it out.
Yeah.
And I will have an adequate time. Probably not a fun time, but yeah. I'm glad you enjoyed it, though. It seems like the perfect place for you.
Hey, okay, thank you.
Have
I'm
you
not sure
considered
what that means, but
it was a compliment.
Okay, thank you.
Liz, I want to circle back to something we talked about last episode, which was the graduate application to graduate.
Oh, yeah.
The form.
Mhm.
I filled it out. It was $25 actually, not $20.
Okay,
Like
good. So glad it didn't hit the mark.
misremembered.
Yeah, well,
but it was actually much worse than you made it out to be. Much
Oh,
worse,
how
because
so?
it wasn't $25. It was $25 per degree.
Oh, okay. Well,
So,
hey, excuse me,
well, yeah,
lowly Mr.
hey,
1 degree here.
I can see where the confusion came on your end with your simple singular degree,
Right.
but as you know, I have 2 degrees,
Yeah.
computer science and mathematics.
This is the tax that they take on people who, you get to brag about the double degree, but then you
Sure,
do have to pay for that in the end. So,
sure. So I ended up paying $50, or at least I will be. They just said it sort of gonna tack it on to my bill, I guess,
right, right.
is how they made it out.
Yeah. So you
Um,
better hope that gown is $50, less than fifty
yeah,
dollars total,
yeah,
or less than $25 per degree. I don't know.
yeah.
Do you
I
get
don't know if
one
they're
gown
charging
per
on a
degree?
per degree basis for that either. I certainly hope not,
Yeah.
or else they always say that more education is better, but in this case, it doesn't seem like
It's
that's
not really
right at
paying
all.
off. Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that.
No, in terms of money I've made off of my math degree, we are at a net loss at the
At the
moment.
moment.
So,
And probably for the foreseeable future. I don't know.
yeah,
Unless you become a mathematician. I don't know if that's kind of in your sightlines there, but
sure. I'm not really sure how you go about getting paid to be a mathematician.
I
Uh,
don't know that you do really.
I think you have to become like a professor or something.
Yeah.
And I'm
Or
not
do some
really
sort of applied field. I don't
sure.
think you can just I don't think anyone is just a mathematician. I don't think
Well, I
that's
think
a
yeah,
job that
that's
exists.
just professors at
Yeah. But
universities
their
that do
job
that.
is to be a professor, not to be a mathematician.
Sure.
So it's kind of a lost art, I guess. I don't know.
And that's
Um,
why I won't be doing that.
right. Exactly.
But
Exactly. Well, that's too bad. Did you consider dropping the math degree?
I thought about it.
Okay.
I said I don't have to graduate with this. I
Yeah.
certainly don't need it.
Mhm.
I did do all of the work for it and paid for the classes,
Mhm.
but I don't need it. So, but I did ultimately check the box. Um, I did when it asks you to type in your name that will show up on the diploma. I did look it over about 3 times
Okay.
to make sure that I spelled my own name right, um, and then went back and checked a fourth time afterward
So,
just
just double
to
check, double check,
confirm.
double check, quadruple check.
Because apparently I can't spell my own name. But
Did you have a misspelling the first time?
no, I didn't. I
Okay.
didn't have it any of the times.
Okay,
So,
good. I would be concerned. Uh, but good on you. Good on you.
so if there's one thing that
Okay.
college has taught me, it's how to spell,
How to spell your name? Yeah.
specifically my own name.
As you correct professors through the years, that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
that is true.
Yeah. Shout out UNL for that.
Yep.
Shout out Ronnie Green.
Hmm.
So good stuff. I'm trying to think. Oh, this was highly noteworthy.
Highly
Um,
noteworthy.
that I forgot to note about the hotel. Kind of skipped over this in Des Moines. Got to
Well, I hope it's
experience
worth it.
one of the great technological marvels of our generation, I would say. You're talking about new cereals. How about new other breakfast technologies, such as the pancake maker? Have you heard about this, Ryan?
The pancake maker.
Pancake maker. You've heard of
No,
the
I've heard
waffle
of waffle
maker.
makers. That I
Yeah,
feel like that's a staple. But
exactly.
no, I've never heard of the pancake maker.
This is a little bit different, and by a little bit, I mean completely.
Okay.
Um, so let me just set the stage here. We've got what I could only describe as taking up the form of a what is it? Toaster oven.
Okay.
Kind of it's a countertop appliance, and it kind of looks like a 3D printer in a sense. You got a pane into it,
Hmm.
and that's really the only thing that makes it look like a 3D printer. You've got a little digital screen as well. It's got a little fuel meter on how much pancake batter we've got.
Sure.
When I approached it, it was on empty, but I was like, we're gonna give it a go anyway because I'm excited about this. And it says press OK to make 2 pancakes. So that's exactly what I did. So this has set in motion a series of events. Um, first stop, first step. There's a conveyor belt that starts
Okay.
moving at a slow pace. Then we've got boom, little bit of pancake batter going on the conveyor belt.
Sure.
I can only assume that there's some sort of heating element contained in this conveyor belt because
I
it
would
starts
imagine.
heating up. It starts cooking. It moves along. Boom. Second pancake drops down. And by drops down, I mean the batter. These are not pre-made. I cannot
Okay.
stress that enough. Anyway, so it's getting heated. It's moving along. And now you might be wondering, Nathan, question, if it's just heating on one side, it seems like that's not going to cook all the way through.
I was wondering that.
And they thought about that. Surprisingly enough.
They thought about one of the two things about pancakes.
The inventors, they saw this coming. They saw this objection. And so what did they do other than a second conveyor belt? This one approaching from the top. Yeah. So it kind of comes in at an angle. It's a sneak attack, some would say. And it kind of spreads out the pancake to a reasonable thickness and width. And also, I can only assume there's a heating element contained in this conveyor belt as well.
Wow.
And so what do you have but heating elements on the top and the bottom and a nicely distributed pancake? And boom, it just plops out on the other side. Now, you do have to get the plate ready beforehand. That's something that I was kind of scrambling to,
oh my
to
gosh.
get in place.
Yeah, you're
So
sort of enamored by the actual process. You forget about the end result.
It does take your breath away. That's for sure. And boom, within a minute, you've got two pancakes.
Within a minute, wow.
Were they great pancakes? No, they weren't.
They were actually quite terrible.
I could definitely make better pancakes. But I could not put in less work to make this quality of pancakes.
Yeah. Sort of the effort quality problem.
Yeah. Here's what I'm going to say. Would I purchase one for myself? Absolutely not. But would I enjoy the novelty of this one as a one-time thing? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's value earned there.
Absolutely. That's the value add. They've marketed that quite well. So shout out to that. I can't believe I almost forgot it, frankly, because that was a highlight. I mean, not as much as the wedding, of course. I mean, but
I gotta ask.
Yeah.
So how large is this? It's a relatively small device, right? Are the conveyor belts just moving rather slowly, or
rather slowly? Yeah, rather slowly, I would say.
Right.
It's not a whole countertop kind of deal. It is bigger than a toaster oven. I've never had a toaster oven. I've seen one. It's actually quite a bit bigger than a toaster oven that I've seen. Now that I'm thinking about it, but that's
about
kind
the
of
size
concept.
of an oven.
It's an oversized toaster oven. That's what I want to say. Can I just say real quick? I've got an issue with ovens because all my life you grow up and you're looking at the oven. You've got an oven and you love your oven, and you've got a microwave.
Love is a strong word.
You love your microwave. And you've got that. And you hear about all these other terms, all these other ovens that you don't know. You've got the convection oven. You've got the microwave oven. You've got the toaster oven.
Well, your oven might be anyway.
And come to find out, there's a lot of duplication going on here. The microwave is the microwave oven.
Okay.
What's going on with that? The convection oven is the regular oven.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at before.
And so the toaster oven, but then toaster oven is not the toaster. So what's up with that?
Right. Yeah, the nomenclature is very confusing there.
Look, I'm just going to, we got to clear things up, frankly. And
yeah, where's the FTC on this? Because this is frankly embarrassing.
It is, yeah, it is. I'm worried about the trade. Yeah, the trade commission needs to get on this or even the consumer rights division of that. I don't know.
Yes, yes, the consumer rights division will get on that immediately once they are formed. Yeah, I mean, I'll put it out there. I had never really thought about it like that. I guess when I was a child, I was never really thinking about the different kinds of ovens and all of their associated terms. But if I had, I feel like I would have arrived at the logical conclusion that you had. Whereas, isn't this toaster just a toaster oven? But it's not.
It just seems a little bit confusing. What is an oven? What is
definitely?
I don't know. Is everything an oven? I don't know. What about the stove
in a way?
Oven? The refrigerator oven? I don't know. I just feel like a little bit let down, frankly, and a little bit at a loss for words.
Yeah, I am as well.
But anyway, that's where I'm at, and I'll try to do some research and get to the bottom of that. But
Great.
anyway,
I think we figured it out already.
well, okay,
Great.
Well, I'll still look
Okay.
into it, just
Please
to be
do.
sure. Anyway, thanks for hanging with us. Episode 31. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Yeah,
Ryan.
First episode of the new year.
Yeah, be thinking about
the
your
books.
themes. What kind of themes are you
Yes.
going to be doing this year, this week,
Please
this
let
month,
us know.
this year?
Yeah, just for however long the theme lasts.
Yeah, Q1 theme, that sort of thing. So let us know, and have a great week. See y'all. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm guessing I'm gonna be doing the cold open here. Is that?
I'm gonna have to concede that to you this
Okay.
week. Just this week though.
Hey, just this week.
Just this week.